Welcome, Edgers. You are here with Joe Hernandez, your 2020 Metro Edge Chair, and another session of WOW from our virtual experience. Today, we are so fortunate to have Katherine Bardis of Bardis Homes. Thank you, Katherine, for joining us. And why don't you take a minute to introduce yourselves to our audience?
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Katherine Bardis-Miry, and I'm a principal at Bardis Homes as well as Reynen Bardis Development. Bardis Homes was started by my cousin Rachel and I about 10 years ago now. It feels like yesterday, but we wanted to start our own company with the mind of trying to do something different and really cater to first-time home buyers. I first moved to Sacramento for law school, and when I moved here, literally there was no place to live. And so I really wanted to be able to create that and create homes and create communities that I would be excited to live in. And that's what we've really tried to do with creating one of our communities called the Mill at Broadway in Sacramento.
Awesome. And yeah, I know the Mills have been, I know a couple people who are actually living over there and even some Edgers that have purchased homes over there. So definitely
Our favorite people.
Yeah, you're hitting us, you're helping us, our definitely.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. So actually, one of the first questions we have to start out with is, what advice would you give your 24-year-old self?
I would tell myself that you can't do everything and you can't do everything really well. I thought that I could do everything and I wanted to do it all and I wanted to learn it all. And I had this jaded, really bad view that I would be great at everything. And that's just, even if you are a Steve Jobs or an Elon Musk or the most genius person in the world, you're never going to be perfect at everything. And so you should just let that go out the window now and instead pick what you want to be really great at and give that all you've got.
Definitely, I definitely agree with knowing your talents, knowing your skills,
Yeah.
and knowing what your weaknesses are, and
Yeah. Know your limits.
know your limits for
Yeah.
sure. So did you have a mentor along your way? Maybe you had multiple, and if you did, what were some of the key nuggets of wisdom that you received from these mentors?
So my dad has always been my mentor. He's always been very business minded, but still very family oriented, which growing up was great to see. And now as like I'm married now and we're talking about having kids, like it's definitely something that we want to emulate. And he's been such a smart business person and such a nimble business person. And I've been really lucky to learn from him my whole life, but most recently, the last 5 years, with being able to work with him more and more on a day-to-day. Some of the best things that I've learned from him that I think are really great takeaways is it's okay to fail because you can always pick back up and start over. And some of your greatest lessons and everything that you learn are from your failures. But what's not okay is to give up. And there's a big difference between failure and giving up. And if you try as hard as you can and you fail and you pick back up and start again, you're going to start again being better than you were. But if you give up, it's lost at that point.
So during this time, how do you handle, work-life balance, and how has COVID affected that? And even in the recent situations with George Floyd and protests, social justice conversations, like how are you managing right now, and how do you keep that work-life balance?
It was certainly challenging in the beginning because so much of our lives is around like being social, and not being able to have that, it was just kind of like, and have it taken away like in a day was so shocking. Yeah. So, one thing that I've been doing is trying to shut down social media more, because with as many difficult situations that are going on in the world and all the different opinions and really good conversations and also really bad conversations, it's hard to differentiate the two and not get so confused and consumed and depressed by them. So I've been really trying hard to shut down, the Twitter and the Instagram and the Facebook after a certain period every night, just so that I can take some time, have my own thoughts, and maybe veg out and watch a show instead of getting so consumed with what's going on in the world. I will say that I do think some of the conversations I'm so happy they're finally happening, and I think that they're really good, and it's sad that it took such horrible situations to have them, but at least we're getting there.
Agreed. And I know how I've had to unplug for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And
I never thought I would ever say that, but.
So our next question is actually along the lines, obviously, around organizations, community organizations. How important is it to really be involved in your community, be it an organization, be it through, philanthropy, networking, alumni associations? How important is it to plug into organizations outside of work?
I think it's the most important thing that we can all do. I mean, it gives you great networking and great socialization, of course, and that's always important. But, it teaches you so much about other businesses and how people approach other things and how to give back. And to me, that's the most important thing. And, these different organizations like the Chamber and Edge, you get to see so much more than what you see inside of maybe your own work bubble and your own life bubble. And I've really appreciated, being able to sit on some boards and get involved with other organizations just to see, how they run their business and what positive attributes from that can I take away and apply to my own. And it's been really, thought-provoking and also really beneficial to see that and learn from that and grow.
Oh my goodness, too. And getting comfortable being uncomfortable is
Totally.
the term that we're in.
Yeah.
If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing, is what a lot of people will say too, from leaders' perspective. So definitely I get that. And it's so important for us to have those conversations and be okay with being uncomfortable. So a fun question, what do you love most about Sacramento? I mean, I know there's so many wonderful things about Sacramento, but you got a name. What's your favorite?
So my favorite thing about Sacramento is the people. I moved here from Los Angeles, and I was just immediately shocked with how welcoming everybody was and how nice everybody was and how grounded everybody was. And it was so refreshing. And I was really excited in being here and being new and being able to get involved in a new community so quickly because everybody was so welcoming. I found to be really empowering and really special. And ever since I moved here, that has been my favorite thing.
Sacramento, don't lose your heart now, okay?
Yeah, don't give up.
Don't give up. I definitely had the same experience. I actually moved here from the Central Coast, San Francisco area about 7 years ago, and definitely experienced that same welcoming, felt that I could plug in. You can still make a difference and feel like you're at home in Sacramento. So what has been the most challenging thing in your career, and how did you overcome it?
I think the most challenging thing for me was being a young business person. I was 25 when I started my business, and I'm in real estate, land development, home building, and it's full of older gentlemen. Mm-hmm. And so being a young woman and kind of disrupting the industry was challenging. It was challenging for people to take me seriously. It was challenging to have tough conversations. And, it was hard knowing a lot of times walking into the room that I was going to be the one that people would ignore or undervalue. But instead of getting frustrated, I found a way to turn that around to make it really empowering of, I know they're going to, think that I don't know what I'm doing. Let me show them and surprise them with my different ideas and, have smart conversations and bring something to the table and surprise them with that. And so they walk out of the room with a totally different mindset than they had when they came in.
I think that is so relatable for our members, Catherine, like walking into a room and feeling like maybe not feeling like you fit in or that you have a presence or are respected, maybe even.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that so much, and just, knowing that you have to power through that. So at Bardis Homes and your project at the Mills, what have you been doing to pivot during this time? What has changed? What can we look for from your company? Here's another opportunity for you to give us a little.
We've, having to spend more time at home has been a very interesting experience. Like, usually I spend no time at home except for really to sleep or to hang out briefly. And it's been a really rewarding experience to see what I've done inside the home during quarantine and what I've learned about homes and really living in it and seeing how we can improve what we do inside of our homes that we build to make them more comfortable to stay in for 4 months at a time. Whether it be like more storage in the kitchen or larger rooms, or the most important one that we're trying to revisit now is the home office. Really, we didn't ever totally plan for a home office. Even in my own house, we have a laptop and go to the couch. So we've really taken some time with our future projects to integrate extra space to have for that office or that small gym or just that private space for meditation or whatever you need.
What advice do you have for young professionals in our region?
One of my biggest regrets in life, and what advice I would give, is to pick something and go 100% at it. If you're in school, then work your tail off and try to be the best of the class. Like, don't put going to bars ahead of taking the tests. Your social life will always be there. And the same thing for work. Give every day your all. And if you're working on a big deal, give that your all. Don't cut any corners. And that's really going to get you ahead in life. And most importantly, it's going to make you feel more fulfilled.
And what are your social handles? If anyone wanted to check you out, maybe you want to give Bardis Homes social handles, and also
yes.
any contact information if people want to reach out to you, maybe have any questions.
Totally. So you can follow Bardis Homes at bardishomes.com, and our Instagram handle is Bardis Homes. Pretty easy, Bardis Homes, Homes. The other company is Reynen Bardis RB Homes, Instagram RB Homes. And we're not very creative with our handles. And then my personal one is just Kate Bardis. And my email, if anybody has any questions, positive messages only, please, is Katherine, Katherine, at bardishomes.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us this short period of time. And thank you for your support of Edge. As always, you have been a great partner. And yes, everyone out there, I want to hear positive messages to Katherine.
Yeah. We're in trying times. We need only positivity.
Yes. We got to take the wins as they come.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for your time. And I guess we're going to sign off then.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.